I actually went a kind of non-traditional route. I wanted to go orthopedic surgeon or a peds nurse, and then I ended up just interning with my athletic trainers in high school because they're like, hey, it's a great way to get exposed to sports medicine, see if you want to go orthopedics or if you want to go in peds. And I ended up loving it. And I was like, you know what? Less school. I love working with the population. It's easier. People want to get back to sports. Like, they motivated to get back. And so kind of led me down that route, and I never looked back. So
what's the most rewarding part of your job?
So I think the most rewarding part for me is kind of the big picture things I'm able to make changes on is, like, I love getting the kids back to sport, but when that athlete contacts me like 2 years later, like, hey, this made an impact on my life, or, mental health for me is like super close to my heart. And so like when I can make those mental health, reach out to that kid, make the difference in their life as a whole, and I hear back from them like after they graduate, I think that's the biggest part for me. I love watching them win. I love seeing them, back on the track, but those lifelong changes really bring a smile on my face.
Speaking of winning, you've had the luxury of being with teams that have won a lot over your time. When you're able to be a part of championships and see the kids succeed like that, how rewarding is that as well?
It's so rewarding, like I always say my job's easier when we're winning because everyone's happy, but just seeing how hard our kids work, that's one of the things that I didn't want to work track at first, and I ended up falling in love because I think our culture here with track, they're just such hardworking kids and they put everything into it. This past weekend at Max, like, they just work so hard, and I just love seeing them succeed because it makes their life, it makes a difference in their life. So yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world.
There's kind of the stigma that the general population thinks, oh, you guys hand out water bottles and you can tape ankles, but there's so much more to the job than just that.
Yep, there is. And so for me, it's, I always say nothing's beneath me. I tell my students, if we need to hand out water one day, if we need to fold towels, we need to tape ankles, that's part of the job. But, for me, it's the difference of, we're there every step with the kids. We're there for their mental health. We're there when they're not sure what's happening. They're freshmen, they've never called a doctor's office by themselves, so we're getting them to the doctor's office. So we're in PT, we're with them at their lowest lows when they're injured and they can't do what they love, to their highest highs of winning those championships. And so I always say, it's like a little pocket knife, you get a little bit of everything, a little bit of utility. And so that's what I always describe our job as.
Speaking of a unique journey, you worked in Hawaii, you worked in Ipswich.
Yep.
How do you find your way to both places?
All the connections, I always say, like, athletic training is all about the people you meet. And so, I went to Ohio State, in Michigan now, but that's okay. And the reason I went there is they're like, you're gonna make connections that are gonna keep you through your lifetime. And that's true. My wrestling athletic trainer at Ohio State, he knew someone in Hawaii, so they connected me there. And then we had connections from Ohio State back to here. So then I come back to Ipsy, a little bit closer to home. I love the mid-major, but I think that's the nice part is you get all the different experiences. Like Hawaii, taught me what it is to be a family. And, it's not as fast-paced as Ohio State, but I like that, because it really was a family. And so that's why I try to bring over here. And I feel like that's one of the unique things of Eastern is we are a family across the board, so.
And then the last question, with it being a whole month to honor National Athletic Trainers, how much do you then take that and go back and reach out to those that help you get to where you are as part of this month?
That's what I always try to do because I'm really bad at talking to people because I feel like I'm bothering them. That's one of my biggest, everyone's like, Julia, you're not bothering us. You're just connecting with us, And so I do always try to make the effort to, my biggest mentors, reach back out to them and just say, hey, what's up? And, my biggest mentors actually just changed jobs. And so, reaching out to them, seeing what they're doing, seeing how they're doing it's nice because, again, it's that family component. We're not just workmates or, we have that connection of athletic training. Like, we can talk about real life and things that are going good and bad. So